Dip down into the upper 30s to start the morning. Warmed up some into the low to mid 50s right now, although holding on to the upper 40s across the state line in southwestern Mississippi. 52 right now at Baton Rouge Metro Airport. It's about 5 degrees colder than the same time yesterday, so a little bit cooler for today. As to how we ended the weekend, and we're going to continue to see an influx of colder air as we go into the evening and overnight hours tonight. So for today, expecting daytime highs to top out in the mid 50s. We topped out in the low 60s for your Sunday afternoon. So again, just a handful of degrees cooler, but you can see how temperatures are expected to fall pretty steadily as we head into the evening hours. Big reason why: clear skies and dry conditions. With that, we're going to see temperatures plummet. They're going to try and reach the dew point. I don't think it's going to do that. Dew points will probably be in the mid 20s for the morning start, but we'll get down into the upper 20s across the state line and low 30s here around the interstate corridor, and then as you go south of the interstate corridor into the mid 30s. So yeah, we're talking about freezing temperatures here late in the winter season. 31 for Baton Rouge, a degree below freezing. 30 for Clinton and Hammond for tomorrow morning. We should be 47 for this time of year. So in terms of the freeze concerns, it's going to be along and north of the interstate corridor, but we're talking about a light freeze. So we're not worried about the fourth P, that would be the pipes. We're worried about the people, the pets, and the plants. So take care of the loved ones area wide. It's going to be cold enough to really do that, but for the plants, I think for the most part, it's just going to be for those areas that are going to see the freezing temperatures, because we'll have a little bit of a separation between dew point and air temperature. I don't think frost is going to be much of a widespread concern. So in terms of duration of freezing temperatures, obviously 0 hours for those that don't reach freezing, but 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 hours at most in terms of the duration of this freeze event. Then we're going to be dealing with a warming trend heading into the middle of the week. So tomorrow's low of 31 in Baton Rouge, yeah, that's the coldest temperature we're going to see for the rest of the week. Then we're going to warm things up pretty steadily, and we'll be with a morning low of 63 by the time we get towards Thursday morning. Now late in the day on Thursday, we're going to get our next cold front in here, but this next cold front not going to drive our temperatures back down to the 30s. In fact, just a little bit of a cool down, heading down into the 50s for morning lows as we head into the weekend. So the big reason we're going to see this warm up: cold air right here tied to the nor'easter that's just off the east coast, and that is going to drive its way off towards the north and east. A little bit of some high pressure tries to build in, but you'll notice another little dip here in the jet stream as we go into Thursday. So there's the disturbance that's going to bring our next cold front, but you can see how the coldest of the air is staying locked up towards the north. So this one not going to have that big cool down behind it like we did with this last cold front. So we'll give you a first alert to the rain chance tied to this next front. We're going to fast forward Futurecast all the way to Thursday morning. And by the time we get towards Thursday, notice our wind streams, the wind direction, and definitely out of the south. So we're bringing in some moisture off the Gulf. We're also bringing those warmer temperatures, hence one of the reasons we're going to see that warming trend. But there's the area of low pressure that's going to drive our cold front through, and you can see how it produces a line of rain making its way in. Timing right now, according to the European model, looks to be late in the day on Thursday, potentially lingering into very early Friday. You can see thunderstorm action kind of hanging just towards our northeast. Right now, severe weather is unlikely. We'll keep our eyes on that and see how things progress there. But bottom line, what we're expecting here is sort of a line or broken line of showers to work its way through, maybe a rumble or two of thunder late Thursday night into very early Friday morning. In terms of rain amounts, most of us expected to pick up less than 1/4 of an inch of rainfall, so flood concerns not going to be all that problematic either. So you look at the forecast, you see the steady warming trend that's going to be taking place in the coming days, not only for morning lows, but also daytime highs. Yeah, we're going to see daytime high near 80 degrees by the time we get towards Thursday with that next front in here. And again, that next front not going to deliver a big changeover in temperature. In fact, just a slight cool down and a very brief cool down before we start to rebound already by the time we get towards the weekend.